Dr. Judith again here, folks. Welcome. Welcome to this broadcast. Welcome to what I have to share with you. I hope that your day, if it's not even going exactly the way you want it to be, at least you're alive and well and breathing and you're hearing my voice. And in listening to my voice, it is my hope and my desire and my intention to say something, to share something with you today that's going to add to your life, that's going to open up some new vistas, that will show you something that you have not thought about before, something that can benefit you. And so come with me and let me share with you about something that I have this discussion with a lot of people that I know. There are a lot of people that I know, some of them I'm related to, and they will come to me for guidance. They'll come to me for encouragement. They'll come to me for support. They'll come to me to, very practical matters of faith, matters of the heart. Even though I've been divorced, I'm pretty good, because what happened, and we'll talk about that another time, is that I divorced very well. And we'll get back to that another day. It'll bring you back to listen to me again. I divorced well, but that's not what I want to talk with you about today. I want to talk with you about the matter of learning not to shoot the messenger. And if you do decide to shoot the messenger, at least use the information they brought to you. Now, let me explain that. Like I said before, a lot of people in my world come to me for advice. They come to me for guidance. They come to me for very practical information about things. I am what someone called once, this gentleman called me once. He said, "You're a bandwidth." And that's BANDWIDTH. I'd never heard this term before. And basically what he was saying to me is that I just got all this information, and this is not a boasting. If I boast here, I boast in Christ. I promise you, because I was very curious when he said that to me. But I understand what he meant, because I am like this band that keeps stretching and stretching, and I know, folks, for a fact it has to do with my relationship with the Lord. I take in so much from His Word and from the environment of hope, and oh God, it's awesome. It's awesome. And so what it is, I'm a living, breathing child of God. And so there's always information that I'm learning and people that I'm meeting, and I'm excited about people and what they're doing and their lives and what they're creating and what they're winning and losing. It's just an ongoing experience, life experience. So I understand what he meant when he said I'm like a bandwidth. I continue to stretch the more information that comes in. But as I get information, one of the most beautiful parts of getting information for me is then sharing it with others. It makes no sense to me to get information, helpful things that have caused me to prosper, things that have caused me to soar. And I love soaring because I'm an eagle and I love to soar. But things that have caused really great and wonderful things in my life, I then want to share it. I mean, otherwise, what would be the purpose of me getting this information? So, today I want to talk to you, as I said before, about receiving the message from the messenger and not shooting the messenger. And even if you decide to shoot the messenger, using the information the messenger brought. So, what does that mean? What it means to me is that I know a lot of people who say to me, "Judith, I'm feeling down. Can you give me a few words of encouragement, of enlightenment? Judith, I have a letter that I got from this bank and I'm not quite understanding. Can you help me decipher it? Judith, you know what? I see how you spend money. And I keep messing up my money. I'm just not managing my money properly. Can you show me how to do that?" And I'm like, "Well, I can show you what I've learned." And so it goes on and on and on. I remember years ago, I had a friend, I still have a friend, that she's 20 years older than I am. And she met this gentleman that I introduced her to. And they were close in age, and he was interested in me, but I was not interested in someone that age. they were closer in age, so I introduced them. So they got into a relationship, and she was, because I've been learning, I've been learning how not to relate the way I used to relate, which was very dysfunctional, because that's how most of us relate when we don't know what we're doing, dysfunctionally. So she called me, she said, I want to prepare a meal for this guy. And I said to her, well, has he ever invited you out? And she said, no. I said, well, maybe you should wait until he invites you out. There's something to be said. The Bible says the man findeth a good woman, findeth a good wife. So maybe if you want to get married, and that's what your aim and your goal is, so maybe you should let him pursue and not invite him out first. Well, like most females, I say females and not women for a purpose, she really was just calling me. She really was going to do what she was going to do anyway, which is what she did. So I said to her, because I was growing, I was getting smart about these things. So I said to her, you know what? Why don't you, since you insist you must invite him to dinner, why don't you invite him for leftovers? Now, when I heard myself say it, I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. I knew that came from the Lord. That didn't come from me, because, I used to be where she was. I'm going to fix a banquet, So I said, invite him for leftovers. See what his response is. Because when you do that, you'll find out what kind of person he is. Certainly you'll find out if he has a problem eating leftovers. You're thinking future. So invite him for leftovers. She kind of chuckled, and then she went on to what she really wanted to do, fix a banquet. So I brought it up again. I said, but try inviting him for leftovers. That way you're not spending a lot of money, and he can't say you're really pursuing him, because you're sharing a meal that you already prepared, and you also will find out, is this the kind of guy that I would want to be married to? Because I don't want to cook 7 days a week. So if he doesn't mind leftovers, then hey, this could be the start of something beautiful. Anyway, she went on, and she didn't do that, of course. She went on, and when she called me after she had the dinner with him, when she called him and explained to me what she had done, the meal she had fixed, I said to her, wait a minute. You didn't fix a dinner for him. You fixed a banquet. I mean, she made several different dishes for this meal, with this man. And she made, we're Jamaicans, and so she made these typical Jamaican meals for him. And she did all this stuff, and I'm like, what in God's name did you do? Didn't I tell you not to do that? Anyway, she told me that when he came for dinner, he walked in with a bottle of wine. And my response to her about that was, you know what? The way you described to me how you fixed that banquet for him, I think he looked at the bottle of wine in his hand, looked at the table, and said, what in God's name is this? In other words, I can't match up to this. I mean, this is too much. Anyway, she did what she did. I said what I said. She heard what I said, but she didn't do what I told her to do. Not even close. That relationship didn't last very long. And I'm not just saying it's about the meal. I'm saying it's about the impression she was giving him, a sense of almost being desperate. I didn't want her to give him that. I wanted him to invite her out first and let him do the manly thing. She did it her way, and in no time it was over. I mean, he stopped, he walked away, came back and forth, but it never came out to anything of any great value. And so she got upset with me after it all fizzled. Very angry. And I didn't realize at first that's why she was upset with me. I found out later on down the road that she was upset with me. And I'm thinking of that now because it was a matter of the messenger. First of all, you called this messenger and asked me what I thought, and I told you. And I told you what I thought would be best and sensible and wise and even godly. She did what she wanted to do. And then she became angry at me. And I a few times I felt like she wanted to shoot me. But my thing is this. rather than get angry with the messenger, why didn't you use the message? Even if you wanted to shoot me, I mean, not literally, of course, but even if you wanted to shoot me, why didn't you take the message? So that's what I'm talking about here, is that people come to me and they ask me and they're like, Judith, you give great advice. And this is not advice. I share with people what I learned. This is not advice. I share, I've made a lot of mistakes in life. I've made a lot of mistakes, you understand? But I've learned from messengers that were sent to me. I didn't resent them. I didn't shoot them. I didn't beat them up. I was not always, oh, thank you for correcting me. I'm so glad that you corrected. I was not always that way, but I was always receptive because I want to change. I want to grow. I don't want to stay dull and stupid and foolish. I want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, even while I'm on this earth. I want Jesus to be proud of me. You understand? So anytime somebody brings information to me that's going to improve my life, I don't use guns. You understand? I don't go around shooting people, not messengers or non-messengers. If people bring me and I thank God for that receptive spirit, you understand? I'm not giving myself any credit here because I could be silly like other folks. So this thing started growing in my mind. And I'm saying, hey, guys, if you're going to, because, they come to me, I give them the information, then they get angry at me. And I'm going, but wait a minute. You came to me. What are you angry with me about? Well, it was right what you said, but I said, no. We can't have it both ways. You can't be trying to shoot me when I've given you information that you came asking for, and then you admit that the information is correct, and now you want to shoot me? So what God did in me, guys, what he did is that he started changing me and saying, listen, don't even worry about it. I will tell you when to shut up, which he does, and I thank him for that, and I will tell you when to speak. And when you give them what they ask, and they feel like shooting you, and shooting comes in the form of not talking to me anymore, being angry with me for a while, and then coming back to talk to me again, being annoyed at me and telling me, you think you know everything. That's the kind of stuff that messengers go through. And so it has come to me in the last several years, and I know, anything that I say that's of value and that makes any sense, it comes from the Lord. Because he has made me bright. I'm not going to deny that I have a good brain, but I know that a lot of things that I say, oh, come on, I wouldn't have the knowledge. It's straight from him. So what I say, and I'm sharing here with you all today, is please learn to accept the information the messenger brings. And if you insist you must shoot them, which doesn't mean physically shooting anyone, folks. That's not what I'm talking about here. But if it makes you want to stop talking to them and cut them off or whatever, at least use the information that they bring to you. Don't just shoot them and not get the gift that God sent to you through them. This has been Dr. Judith. We'll talk again. Until then, walk good.